Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily, presented by LeBear's Casino. TK joining us as he is most early parts of the week over at Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. I'm in an undisclosed location presented by the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, and we are always, each and every week, Sports Shorts Daily, all three shows presented by LeBear's Casino, where last night, Monday Night Football game was a little bit of a disappointment. If you had the Seattle Seahawks, you weren't sweating anything. They were in complete control. The Giants are a disaster. If you're a Saints fan, they'll make you feel good about yourself because the Giants are absolutely terrible. TK, let's kind of go backwards before we go forward. So much to recap from the weekend. First off, LSU. Speaking of disaster, this is the absolute sign of a bad team when you are good on offense but bad on defense, or good on defense but bad on offense. Well, they take it to the extreme. They have one of the, I would say, the second or third best offense, arguably, they've ever had at LSU. You know, it's probably debatable, but a top five offense that they've ever had. And then yet, at the same time, defensively, the worst or second worst defense they've ever had.
Yeah, no question about it, Ryan. And here's what I say about the game against Ole Miss. I don't know what I can say or we can say that hadn't already been said, but I'll say that. I want to throw this in. The game's what it is, but when you go up 49-40, two-score lead, it's time to bow up, look in the mirror, gut check, hunker down, whatever you want to call it. It's time to finish that off. Like we always talk about in baseball, you're getting that eighth inning with a 2 or 3 run lead, can't let that get away. You need to get that one. Well, the analogy is it's 49-40. You've been in a track meet. So figure out a way to make it happen from that point forward. They need 2 scores to beat you. Guess what? They got 2 scores and beat them. So that's where I'll leave that. And I don't know that they could stop Missouri. Missouri quarterback has not thrown an interception this year. He's got like 11 or 12 touchdowns. I don't know the exact number. And they're 5-0, 1-0 in conference play. So they're doing a little better than anybody thought they would be doing at this point. They do have a nice win against Kansas State, but other than that, okay, a couple of gremlins on the schedule. But I don't know with this LSU defense how you can lay 6.5 points in Missouri. Now, I'll make that decision later in the week, or, by the way, radio Saturday will be 9 till 11 due to the fact that the kickoff's at 11. So we'll be 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. from the Barstool Sportsbook. Hunter McCann and I will have a whole lot more stuff for you. So I wanted to throw that in because the Missouri kicks at 11. So I don't know, man. That LSU game was – they've given up, 86 points in the last 2 games? I mean, 1,200-plus yards. I don't even know the number. It's way up there. It's got a comma in it, okay? Oh, man, I don't know. It's got LSU fans shaking their head.
The season is over with as far as LSU is concerned, Tommy. I have zero confidence in this team. Well, one, they're not going to get it fixed on defense. I mean, it's a disaster. Basic. They just can't tackle, number one. I mean, it is not going to get better. There's not, new personnel coming or anything like that. So we knew that they had to outscore their opponent. I mean, we talked about it on Sports Shorts Radio with Derry Beckwith, and Derry's been, negative on this defense since game 1 when they saw what happened against Florida State, and they've been telling you each week on Sports Shorts Radio why. And so even on this past Saturday, we knew, hey, high-scoring game, whose defense can step up and make a few. It's like arena football. It's like if you get 12 possessions, you hope that the other team can stop you. I mean, you can score on 10 of the 12 and you're going to win. If you only score on 9, you're going to lose. And that's what this is what we're Big 12 now. Officially, LSU is the Big 12 of the SEC. They've got to outscore everybody. As much as the defense, it was on the defense shoulders blowing a 49-40 lead. The offense didn't keep putting the pedal down as well. They needed to get another score in the last, 8 minutes or so of that game. They didn't. And this is an absolute disaster. I have zero confidence against Missouri on the road, 11 a.m. in a game where, the team this was a team that was thinking national championship, thinking playoffs, all those things are out. So, you got 22 unbeaten teams right now in college football. LSU's already got 2 losses. I mean, do you think they're going to win at Alabama? Do you think? I mean, they got A&M is looking better. You obviously Missouri's a surprise. I mean, look, Auburn's been a lot more competitive this past week against Georgia than we saw coming. Florida, who knows? I mean, they obviously beat one good team, but then they get beat by a couple others. This is just an LSU team. It's a typical 8-4 type team, and that they have they got some really good players on offense, but they're disaster on defense. And you're going to have to win 55-49, 49-48. What you're going to have to win like you're in a Big 12 league and just keep scoring, keep throwing the football. Don't get conservative.
Yeah, you're going to have to outscore people, and then hope, like the old arena football analogy, hope your defense can come up with a stop or force a turnover, or maybe the other team makes a bad mistake going in for the score, something like that. That's what LSU's going to have to win games. And I agree with you. Second, third, fourth most prolific offense with weapons that they've had in a while. Of course, 2019 offense might not ever be topped by anyone. But, I mean, but then that puts pressure on that offense knowing you got to score or you got to score 35 plus to have a shot because your defense is going to give up 35 plus. I mean, it's tough mentally. And back on the road with the morning kickoff, Missouri's probably licking their chops thinking, hey, we're 5-0. There's no reason we can't be 6-0. That we're 6.5-point dogs. I don't know. It's good to be a Missouri Tiger football player right now because you can't wait for that referee to blow the whistle Saturday morning and somebody kick off.
It's amazing how the tide has changed just in a month's time, Tommy. I mean, going into this season, LSU fans, felt really good. We all felt really good about this team. I mean, even if you thought this team, wouldn't go necessarily 12-0, 11-1 was a real possibility, and 10-2 was almost like worst case scenario. 10-2 right now, we'd all take it in a heartbeat, give up a lot to take it because it's not trending in that direction at all. And unfortunately, look, I would have thought as much as Pete Jenkins, by the way, they hired him as an advisor to help with the defensive line. You could have Pete Jenkins, Coach O, come back, everything, and it ain't going to make a difference. It's too far gone this year. But I appreciate the effort trying to bring in the 82-year-old to help a little bit, teach the basics and some scheme stuff. But TK, this team is such a disaster right now. It has all the good that last year did is completely out the window. It's 2 years now that they've swung and missed in the portal on some players, whereas you wouldn't think LSU would swing and miss. I mean, LSU, Georgia, Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State, those teams shouldn't swing and miss in the portal on half their portal guys. And, Diggs, hey, thumbs up there. But, I mean, it's been a disappointment. The secondary guys have not lived up to their abilities. The defensive line has not lived up to their abilities. I mean, and I would have thought maybe that you might have seen a coach get fired this past week because, look, a lot of those defensive coaches are going to get fired. They have to. They're going to overhaul that defense. I would have thought maybe they might have made a change somewhere this week just to shake things up, just to see if they can put the fear of God in that defensive room and those players and coaches to see if it makes a little bit of a difference.
Well, the shakeup is bring Pete Jenkins in,
Right.
Mentally. Guy's been in the NFL. He's coached at LSU, 25 different times now. He goes way back. So that's the shakeup is Pete, okay? We got an NFL guy that's put more linemen in the NFL than anybody else. That's the shakeup. But what difference does it make when, what they said, Ole Miss had 340 yards after contact the other day? Okay, sometimes the receiver or the running back deserves credit when they break a tackle. I get that. But not 300-plus yards. I mean, that's just, but I was talking to a former LSU football player yesterday. He said, whatever practice tackling, they don't get nobody hurt. They don't put nobody on the ground except maybe that first week in August. Other than that, it's all about Saturday. It's all about the game, and it shows. I mean, but they do it in the NFL too, and it's not unique to LSU. You just run up and bang into somebody. Hopefully you knock them down. I mean, there's no wrapping up and putting your head on the hip and driving through the guy. I mean, like we all learned as kids and how it used to be. That's not football anymore. But No, it's not. 8 wins for LSU that's a reach right now.
A couple weeks ago, we were all excited. It was the first time ever that the Saints, LSU, and the Tulane had won on the road. And here we are a couple weeks later, and the Saints and LSU are a disaster. Let's talk about the Saints for a minute. I was at that game. That was like watching paint dry on Sunday. They should give you like a half a refund for that crap that we watched. Yeah, I mean, great. Thanks, Derek Carr, that you gutted it out and you played. I mean, that just goes to show you how bad they think Jameis Winston is. If they thought that was better than starting Jameis Winston.
That's the commentary. Remember, I said on Sports Shorts Radio Saturday, I'd fall out the chair if Carr played because you need him, in November and December more than you need him. But I think the commentary is you just hit the nail on the head. It's that they don't have much. They'd rather have a 70% Derek Carr out there, and I'm guessing that number, versus Jameis Winston, and mix in Taysom Hill or whatever. But look, you don't score touchdowns in the NFL, you are not going to win. You are not going to win if you can't score touchdowns in the NFL. Now, this week they get to go to New England, play the Patriots, who the Cowboys, completely different the other day. I don't know. Every game's a must-win in my book, but the Saints game's a must-win because they're still, one game out of first place in the division, so it can't slip any further. So that in case they can get hot or Carr can get closer to 100%, Kamara can do a little bit more. I don't know, but tough weekend for sports fans if you like LSU and the Saints for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the problem in New Orleans is the opposite of the problem in Baton Rouge.
Right?
Yeah, got the great defense and the bad, well, not a great defense, but a good defense and a bad offense that just constantly puts the defense behind the 8 ball. I guess that streak got busted, for the Saints. They had 11 straight games where they had allowed opponent 20 points or less. Yeah, and that got busted.
Well, here's the other thing, too. They play the Patriots. Then I think they play on Thursday night after that against Jacksonville. I was looking at the schedule. So then you got 10 games. If they lose to the Patriots and the Jaguars, you got to fire Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael while you got that 10-day window, my opinion. Bring John Gruden in. I'll throw it out there, although the NFL might not like that. But bring somebody in. If they lose the next 2 games, Gail Benson, she's all about loyalty and promoting from within. Mickey Loomis has always done that. But if this team loses the next 2 games, it's got to be certainly an offensive coordinator change, if not also a head coach change.
I could see I could see maybe a play call and duties being stripped or something maybe, but I would be stunned, shocked, and amazed. Division's not very good. That's not traditionally the Saints' MO to do something dramatic like that. You'd be pulling the trigger, Tommy, not even at the halfway point really of the season or almost close to it. There's still a lot of football left to be played. I would be shocked that if they made that change.
I left the game out there at the Patriots, at the Texans, then a Thursday night home against the Jaguars. So I kind of forgot about that Texans thing being in there. So, but like you said, maybe it's a play call and duty. Yeah.
Winnable schedule.
And if the NFL, I mean, you can have 75 coaches. The Saints have like 30. I mean, they really do. They really got like 28 or 29 coaches on the staff. It's not like college where you can't just go bring in a guy that might be available. And the Saints going to have to do that, especially if they can stay within a game in the division, because win the division, you're in the playoffs. We all know that. If they can stay with that goal close by, okay. But if it starts slipping, they got to try to, make a change. And I mean, it's all about winning now in the NFL. And you're right. The Saints typically wouldn't do a drastic move like that, but they may have to.
The Baker Mayfield doing his best Geno Smith impression. You thought he was out of the league. You thought he was done as maybe being a starting quarterback in the NFL, and then all of a sudden now, Baker Mayfield, after a couple of good games at the end of last year with the Rams when they brought him off the heap, free agent heap, he's now resurrected his career over there in Tampa and is clearly their guy, and has them in first place. Another disappointment. This is like negative Tuesday here on Sports Shorts Daily, in the sense that we're talking LSU, talking Saints, how brutal they are. Ryder Cup, that was maybe even worse. What happened, Tommy?
Europeans played better. Bottom line. Now we're getting all the word. Cantley denied it, but the locker room was fractured. He wouldn't wear his hat for contractual reasons. Shoffley's dad comes out and said that 2 weeks before the Ryder Cup, they were going to pull his spot on the team because there was a contract about letting like Full Swing or some Netflix thing into the locker room at the Ryder Cup for the American team. And Cantlay and Shoffley were against that. Well, turns out they took a vote, and it was unanimous to not let Netflix in. The Ryder Cup team, and I guess the captains and the vice captains. But back to the golf course, it was all Europe. I mean, John Rahm was spectacular, as you would guess. The crowds, the weather. I mean, it was just all the stars lined up in Europe. 16 and a half to 11 and a half. And that's a butt whipping in the Ryder Cup competition. It was over. Victor Hovland, with some good stuff, but. Hey, Americans, I guess 4 years from now, we'll have to see if they can reverse this European soil thing. The next Ryder Cup's at Bethpage Black, another one of the courses. I think you played there, didn't you?
I have not. Okay.
Well, you will before the Ryder Cup. That's you. But so that's the next Ryder Cup's at Bethpage Black, where we've had U.S. Opens and whatnot in 2 years. So I don't know, man. That was tough for American golfers, but I think you just got to give credit to the Europeans. They got it done.
It was very anticlimactic. Other than the I guess the problems off the field were more entertaining than the golf. That's for sure. The soap opera that was going on between Rory and Cantlay's caddy, and
shouting match in the parking lot.
Right.
I mean, come on, it's like WWE.
But I mean, you needed it. I mean, because the golf itself was terrible. In the sense that the United States just absolutely were out of it halfway through day one. I mean, down 4-0 after day one. I mean, after half a day, and you just don't come back from stuff like that. And so, it's a disappointing. Obviously, it was a great scene, great crowd. 2 years from now, that's a lot. A lot is expected that Tiger Woods would be the coach of Team of the United States 2 years from now in Bethpage Black. He won U.S. Open there in 2002, set a record, shot a record. He's played well on that course in the past. Tiger's not going to be healthy enough or back qualifier for any more Ryder Cups. And so I would think that he would be the coach. That's kind of what's thought to be expected. And it would bring a lot of juice, not only to the event, which doesn't need a ton more juice, but it would also, I think, bring a lot of juice to the players. If Tiger's your coach and his intensity, I think he's going to get the best out of you, and you're going to be locked in for sure. Speaking of Tiger, he is going to be in Louisiana November 4th, 5th, 6th. His son is playing in the tournament over in Kinder, Louisiana, at the casino golf course over there, and in Coshada. And so the 6th is a Monday. I'm actually, Tommy, going to try to go on the 6th. I think I'm going to, it's provided his son qualifies and makes it to the finals, which he did last year. Now, I understand that Tiger was there last year as his son played in that same tournament, the Begay tournament, his old teammate from Stanford's, minor league tournament, junior golf league. How they have like 2D and USSSA and AAU, and they've got all these leagues for travel ball baseball and stuff like that. Well, they have the same thing for golf. They have multiple junior golf leagues. Well, Oda Begay, who was a golfer at Stanford and friend of Tiger, has a.
They were actually roommates at Stanford.
Yeah, has a league, and so his son, Tiger's son, plays in that league, plays on that tour, if you will, and. So anyway, Tiger's son played last year. My understanding is, he didn't do autographs with the media. I mean, didn't do interviews with the local media. Obviously didn't do any autograph sessions or anything like that. But if you just want to follow his son, see Charlie play and watch Tiger on the bag, caddying or whatever, advising, coaching, it's a cool event. November 4th, 5th, 6th.
Ronnie, would Tiger qualify for the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame by caddying and Kinder? Can we make an exception to the rule, maybe?
I tell you what, I will try my best to see if we can't get a special.
Tiger Woods, caddies, and Kinder. Okay,
if he comes back 3 years in a row, Tommy, maybe that'd be enough, because that would have been a total of about 10 days he would have spent in Louisiana. So maybe that'll qualify at some level. Or maybe if his son wins, maybe we can get his son in there, and then he'll have to come to the event. But no, but that'll be cool to see that. All right, the Ryder Cup, wah. Saints, wah. LSU, wah. Congratulations to Tulane. They're having a good year. They knocked off UAB at home. They only got the one loss, and that was against Ole Miss, where they had the lead at halftime and then couldn't hold on. LSU baseball, we'll talk plenty more about them on Thursday. There's a press conference Wednesday where Jay's going to let some players be available. He'll address the media as well. So we'll get an update. Major League Baseball is underway. 5 LSU players in the Major League Baseball playoffs. If you're like me and you don't really have a dog in the hunt for Major League Baseball playoffs and you're just kind of pulling for maybe the Astros because they're right down the road and they're the closest team to Baton Rouge, or maybe you're pulling for individual LSU baseball players to do well, there are 5 of them in there.
Yeah, 5 of them. Alex Bregman with the Astros, and of course they're not in the wild card round. They're a division winner. The other 4 Tigers are Aaron Nola with the Phillies, who's not pitching today. Kevin Gosman with the Blue Jays, who is pitching today. Andrew Stevenson with the Twins. They're playing against the Blue Jays. And then Josh Smith has had a good year for the Texas Rangers. And they're the first game today in Tampa Bay. And Josh has played outfield. He's played third base. He's bounced around. That's probably why he's still on the roster, because he has some versatility and he can hit pretty well. So, yeah, Major League Baseball, 4 wild card games today: 2:00, 3:30, 6:00, and 7:00. I'll be keeping an eye on that for sure. Sports Shorts Daily the rest of the week will be Wednesday, tomorrow 9:30, and Friday 9:30. And don't forget Sports Shorts Radio Saturday 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. with the 11 o'clock LSU football kick. And we'll remind you about that going forward. Connect with Sports Shorts Daily on social media, and you'll never miss a thing.
As far as the Major League Baseball playoffs are concerned, TK, do you bet it? Do you gamble it? Do you have a futures pick on someone winning it?
I got the Rangers today on the money line in Tampa. The Braves are the odds-on favorite, plus 250 if you think the Braves can win it all. And other than that, I mean, almost any team's good enough. If you get hot at the right time, you get that pitching. Baltimore's been a great story all year long. Of course, they like the Astros, Braves, and Phillies aren't playing. Astros, Braves, and Dodgers are not playing yet. So, it's going to be fun. You got wild cards are best of 3. You're going to figure that out this week. And then this weekend is when the teams that had the bye will all kick in. So I'm ready for some baseball. But you can bet the team to win the World Series. I think the long shot's the Marlins. They're like plus 1,400 or something. So you can check it out at the Barstool Sportsbook. They can connect you if you want to do that, or watch the games, bet on the games. Head out to the Barstool Sportsbook.
All right, for Tommy Christ-San, I'm Ronnie Rance. Tell us about Court Street as we get out of here, TK.
Hey, breakfast, lunch, dinner. You got the Saturday night steak night. You got the Sunday brunch. Jason and the staff do a great job. They post everything on Facebook and Instagram. Full service bar right behind me. You can see that. Check out Court Street Cafe. A couple of minutes over the bridge, 805 Court Street in Port Allen. You'll be glad you did.
All right. Good luck to Kevin Gosman today. As good dude, good pitcher, and hopefully he can get the Blue Jays off to a 1-0 lead in their series.
Quick question on Gosman. I was watching MLB tonight or whatever last night, and they were talking about all the series when they got to Gosman. Ryan, he's sitting at 95, 96. He didn't throw that hard at LSU. Am I correct?
No, he did. He actually, I saw him hit 100 one time, Tommy. When he
was LSU, okay.
At LSU, yeah. He was a flamethrower. The thing that has taken him to the next level is that splitty change is just filthy. It's maybe the best in baseball. But and unfortunately, I mean, you need it, right? Because everybody throws 95 these days. But no, he was matter of fact of Barry Manuel threw 100 back in 1987. He hit 100 miles an hour on the gun. And by the way, Barry Manuel's helping coach. He's part of the staff volunteer, whatever, at LSU Eunice over there, the college team. Barry's been a high school coach for years and years. But
Barry's not the biggest guy. He's not the biggest guy in the building.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Barry, 6 foot at the most. I think he's more like 5'10", 5'11". But But anyway, Barry hit 100 on the gun in 1987. And honestly, Gosman hit 100 when he was here, 11 years ago, 12 years ago. I think Nick Goody hit 100 one time, a reliever. I think he hit 100 one time, maybe. And then, of course,
bigs with the Yankees.
Yeah, he got the big. I think he was with the Yankees and with the Indians, I believe. And then, of course, Skeens did it all day long this past year. But I think that's the only 4 guys that have touched 100 officially on the radar gun in Baton Rouge. Now, I could be wrong. It might be somebody.
OJ never hit 100.
No, he never threw that hard. Maybe, and I don't think Ben ever did. Now, Ben lived in the 90s and in the mid 90s a lot, threw in the upper 90s, but I don't think he quite hit 100. So it's a rare, special club, and Kevin Gosman's a part of it.
I couldn't throw 100 from 30 feet, Ronnie.
I would struggle to throw 100 with 2 throws at this point in my life. You added them together, maybe the sum might be.
I mean, back in the day, my fastball sat at about 86, which was okay for then. It wasn't great, wasn't poor, but 86 was where I sat. You threw much harder than that, if I remember correctly.
Not much. There was a lot of 86 days, but I did top out at times in the low 90s. But yeah, no, it's a different world these days. 85 to 90 mile an hour lefties, they almost laugh at you. All right, well, we'll step aside. Be back tomorrow for more Sports Shorts Daily at 9:30. So check us out. TK will be over at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Until then, have a great one. Please like and share this video.